What's going on, people? And welcome back to Total Oz Spurs and Tottenham 3, Nottingham Forest 1. And looked like a very convincing win. Unfortunately, we didn't do a live watch along for it. A few of us are away for a Bucks party. If you don't know what that is, it's a stag do in England. I had to remind myself while I was over there back home. But before we get into that, Delane, how are you, bro?
Good. You know, after that win, I'm really happy. Mm,
Yeah, I mean, three losses on the bounce.
yeah,
Sheffield,
definitely.
Wolves, and AC Milan. It was nice to get a win, and it was a quite convincing win, regardless of the little hiccups at the end of the game. But what were your thoughts on the initial lineup before we get into the actual game itself?
Yeah, now look, you know, the line looked pretty solid. I think the likes of Poro on the right wing, you had Davies on the right wing. I think Royal was injured. I think he had a little bit of an injury. I don't know what it was. But look, a solid lineup. Can't complain. On paper, look good. On the field, look even better. So, but no, look, I think it was a solid lineup. I think everyone did their job. Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched it in and out of sleep, I should say. The night of going out of the Bucks, so it was quite it was quite surprising to see Porro start. I didn't think he would.
Mm.
But as you said, Royal, actually, do we know if Royal was injured? Or is he on the
Uh,
bench?
no, he was actually injured. He wasn't even on the bench.
Okay, yeah. See, I was half asleep watching it. I barely kept my eyes open for most of it. No, you're right. So he's probably got a little knee injury, but it was good to see Porro start. I'm liking Davies at left wing back. I'm not saying he's leaps and bounds above Perisic, but his solid defensive work and the fact that he doesn't inhibit Sun. And once again, Sun scores when Perisic isn't playing left wing back.
Yes, you're correct. I think we all know Perisic hogs that left side, obviously, because he's a winger as well. He used to play winger before he played left wing back. So I mean, him and Son do not. I think him and Son don't pair well. Sonny likes to have that left hand side to himself. Um, and the likes of Davies, pushing in the middle, which kind of helps Son out as well. So I agree with you. I'm liking Davies in that left wing back role. He's defensive minded as well, but we all know he can't cross that well as Perisic. He's not really attacking minded left wing back, but you know he does cover a lot more than what Perisic does, a lot way more. So I'm liking it.
Yeah. Well, going on that attacking threat, Pedro Porro showed a bit about himself the other day. He got an assist, beautiful ball into Kane, beautiful header that was as well. And he was doing really really well down that right side. I think he was one of our four best players on the pitch for
Yeah,
me.
nah, yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts? Do you think Porro can grow into that role, or do you think And do you think that first game was really like a welcome to the Premier League kind of game where he had no idea what he was going into?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think his first start against Leicester, coming up against Harvey Barnes is not an easy target to come up against. But he actually every game he's come on or started, he's actually improving a lot more. He's doing a lot more, but just this game, he's really shown what he can really do. There was a bit of a hiccups here and there. He was kind of losing the ball a few times, but other than that, like his attacking minded threat was really well. Like there was a couple of crosses he could have been a lot better if someone's on the end of him, but I think that one went straight to Kane on the header. That was a perfect one. That's all we needed. We needed a right wing back to do that. Cross the ball, you know, run up and down the pitch. Yeah, defensive wise, he's not that greatest, but attacking he's a lot better. But no, I was really really impressed what Poro did. I think he played tremendously. But yeah, I think I'm just hoping he kicks on. Really hoping he kicks on.
Yeah, well, that cross that he did, there's no way Royal is pulling one of those off. They're one of the crosses that was inch perfect. It was high enough for Kane to out jump the defenders, but it wasn't too high where he couldn't control the path of the ball.
Yeah.
Caught the goalkeeper off guard, and Kane did really really well. But props to Poro for that. But there's one little man I want to mention. Well, there's two little men I want to mention, but there's one, Richarlison. It's like his comments to Conte and Conte's comments back fired him up. And I don't think that goal was disallowed. I honestly think that was he took it so well. The other person is the person I want to talk about after, but we won't get into that yet. But Richie, well, he played really, really well. Was a threat all game. Was annoying. It was very surprising for me to see Cooley dropped. However, Cooley hasn't been playing well lately. So, I mean, Simon probably has looked the more productive of the two. Sort of. But what was your thoughts on how Richarlison played?
Yeah, look, you're right. I think after that comments that he made to Conte, I think it really came out. He came out. Conte must have said something to him, or they've had back and forth argument. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but I reckon it's just fired him up. And as soon as straight from kickoff, he looked a threat. And then that ball from Oliver Skip and how it landed on Richie's foot and how he took it on and just I'm still like right now I think it was onside. For some reasons in the back of
It
my
was
head.
definitely onside. There's
Yeah.
no way that should have been disallowed. I'm saying it right now. That was a bullshit call. VAR got it wrong. The referees got it wrong. It was the perfect pass from Skip. Richarlison didn't even break stride. Took one or two touches and then just smashed it into the roof. And the thing. What I really like about what Richarlison did was he didn't let it. It didn't let it affect him. Yeah, he got disallowed, but the rest of the game he was a nuisance. Put the ball in for Sonny to score. Kept putting crosses in. And it seemed like him and Poro linked up fairly well.
Yeah, no, they did. They looked really well on their right hand side, and he got a penalty for Kane to take, but to be honest, I would have let Richie take it. For me,
I would
like
have
he
too.
thought I would have let Richie take it. Just I know Kane wants to try and get the record and all that, but just for Richie's sake, get him getting the goal disallowed the first one. I would have gone here, mate. Just take this one. I know you can do it. Get it past Neves. But obviously it was a good shot by Kane. But look, Richie looked really, really well, and I'm really happy the way he's going right now. So look, he just needs to keep it up. Maybe he needs to say more shit to Conte about Conte. That might
Maybe.
fire him up. Might fire him up. But look, I'm really happy with Richarlison's performance. I think personally, I think he was the man of the match. I know they gave it to Kane, but I think he was just the passion he showed, just the aggression, just everything on that game. It was so
Well,
good.
honestly, for me, I think Poro Richarlison or Skip could have got man of the match before Kane. I know Kane
Yeah.
scored 2 goals, but I feel like those three played really, really well. And that's the last person I wanted to go on to. Skip, he's stepping up. He's providing a great assist. That ball was perfect, and that's the thing, right? When he played preseason for us, I don't know if it was last year, year before. He was doing some crossfield buddy pings, and I was sitting there thinking, this kid has got some vision. But the fact that he gets deployed as this little bulldog type, chase the ball, defend, he doesn't get much time on the ball, especially when we play against 3 in midfield. But it was the amount of space that Nottingham Forest allowed him and Højbjerg yesterday. They should have done it. I think Skip's starting to really show what he's about, but I'm not going to get overexcited and be like, oh, he's the next biggest thing, he's the next Dele Alli, whatever. I want him to keep playing the way he's playing, stay underneath the radar, perform, stay fit, because he could be very important for us for the next couple of years, especially with the way the club is at the moment, with the uncertainty of Conte and Levy and that. Having a nice young player that's growing under the radar would be really, really good for us.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: Poch, Mourinho, and Conte have all come out and said Skip is going to be the next important player for Tottenham. They've come out and said it. Mourinho said he's going to be the next big, not the probably the next big thing. Conte's come out and said he's going to be the next important thing for Tottenham. He's going to be the next up and coming thing for Tottenham.
Well, they're saying
And
that he
Poch,
could be the leader. He's going to be the next captain of
yeah,
the team.
exactly. So I mean, like the way if he keeps playing the way he is, man, like this kid can go a long way, and performances
Well,
like that really impresses me too.
Well, that's the thing, right? I'm going to pick some information up from another channel. But before we do that, I mean, people highly rate Højbjerg, people highly rate Bentancur, Basuma. But shout out to Stelios from Tottenham away. He did a video recently about some inside information on the Tottenham team. Now, I'm not going to go into depths about that, but there was something brought up about Skip. And apparently he is rated the best midfielder at the club now.
Wow.
So he's 4 years younger than Bentancur, 4 years younger than Basuma, 4 years younger than Højbjerg, and they rate him that highly. They think he's the best midfielder at the club. And I'm not going to put the pressure on him to say, go, he is the best, but I feel like if he keeps performing the way he is, the way he was under Conte at the start of last season, when Conte came in, obviously mid-season, the performances he showed at Norwich, I know it's championship, but he was literally a kid in a men's team, and he was there every game apart from when he was injured. For me, I feel like he can be a very important player. I just hope he develops properly, and we give him time. We don't demand him to be, the next Xavi Alonso. Don't give him nicknames like Mini English Iniesta like we did with Harry Winks. I just want him to develop because I feel like he can be a really good asset, a really good player, and maybe future captain because he loves this club. He's been here since he was 8 years old, and he deserves his shot.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, look, I gotta give it to the kid. He's starting to show it, and look, as you said, he just really needs to just be out on the radar, don't try to big yourself up too high, but just play your game and just keep performing like you're doing, man. And he can really go a long way with us. But before we move on, I want to give a special shout out to Foster.
Yeah.
Ever since Lloris has been out injured, Foster's really stepped up.
Well, he's only had I think he's only had 1 or 2 games where he looked a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But compare that to how Lloris was playing, where it was every second game. Foster's played, 9-10 games minimum so far started. And he's only had 1 or 2 bad performances where he probably could have done better with a few saves. But you're right. That penalty save was crucial because they were coming back. They scored a goal. They won a penalty off Kulu. And he was strong. He was big. Great save. And he has been a great backup. And maybe he's not the future goalkeeper for us, but you can't fault the guy for what he's done for us.
Exactly. You can't fault him, man. He's really stepped up when Hugo's been injured. And he's done some terrific saves. He's been solid at the back, trying to organise the back line. But I gotta give it to Foster. He really stepped up as well. He's really stepped up. So
So what do you think on Conte at the moment with the way he changed? Took Kulu off, played Porro. Obviously, there was no Royal. So I think if Royal was fit, it would have been Royal and Perisic. But I'm liking this back five of Porro, Romero. Did Romero play yesterday?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, sorry, he got suspended for AC at the Champions League, but we got knocked out. I'm liking the back five the way it is because I feel like we were always focusing on the left because of Perisic and Son because Royal was not good going forward, and that stifled Son because they were just focusing. They were allowing our right side to have so much of the ball because they knew they couldn't do anything with it, and Son couldn't get in the game. Perisic was always taking the position. Kulu was always stuck with Royal going forward, not doing much. Now with Porro, we can kind of counteract it. We can go, all right, well we can go left with Son, but if you leave Porro by himself and Kulu on that right or Richarlison, you're going to suffer because Porro can get down that wing, he can cross. And this is what I mean. Like maybe this is the little formula that we needed to like. We tried it with Royal and Perisic, but the thing is teams would push us onto the right. Because they knew Royal was really bad going forward. Davies isn't too bad going forward. I mean, he gets up and down the wing and he puts balls in the box, but may not be the best balls. But he's a lot better than Royal when he puts him in the box.
Yeah.
So I'm liking the way we're moulding and the way Skip and Højbjerg are playing. Well, mainly Skip though. Bentancur is going to have a lot to do. So is Basuma if they want to come into this team. But I want to do a quick theory before we wrap it up. I was listening to some stuff earlier on, and people were saying that if Conte gets the centre backs that he wants, we could transition into a 5-3-2 with 3 in midfield. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're dropping the likes of Kulu or Richarlison or Son to bolster up midfield and rely on the likes of Porro and obviously next year Doji to provide the creativity? Do you think that's the way to go forward for next season if Conte stays, that is?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. It all depends if Conte stays. That's the question. If he stays and Levy gets him the centre backs he wants, if we do transition to that 3 in the middle, I mean, look, it's gonna be really hard for Richie or Kulu, maybe even Son to try and get in. But yeah, it's a really hard one because you don't want to take the likes of Kulu or Sun off. Like, you want to have them on because they could be a real threat. But then, say for instance, if the 3 in the middle doesn't work, do we just go back to that 2 and just bring on an extra attacker? That's really hard.
My thinking is you get the likes of Basuma back to his best because he plays best in the midfield 3. I would play Basuma, Bentancur, and Skip. That would be my midfield 3 with Højbjerg and Sarr as backup. And the dilemma with the up front, it's good because if Richarlison's not firing, Son can come in. If Son's not firing, Kulu can come in. If Kulu's not firing, Richarlison come in. And we all know if Kane stays, Kane's going to be on the pitch. He has to be on the pitch, so I'm not even going to include him in that. But it also means we have the only thing that the problem for me is we don't have backups for the likes of Doji and Porro. So if one of those get injured, we're going to have to transition back to a midfield 2 to try and push teams further up the pitch because we won't have the likes of, we'll have like Davies and Royal as backups, and they're not going to be the same kind of player. For me, if that happens, we go back 4 and go 4-3-3, but I don't think Conte will do that if he stays. But yeah, so our next game is Southampton, I think, this weekend, and then we have the international break, so we get a bit of a break before we kick up the last 10 games of the season. Yeah. So it's coming down to crunch time.
Yeah, definitely is.
Anything else you want to add to that to the Forest game? Is there anything that you noticed that we haven't picked out yet?
Obviously, Sonny scoring the goal, getting back on the score sheet.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, did we? It was good to see him on the score sheet. No Perisic, Sonny scores.
Exactly.
How long have I been saying it? That Perisic is taking Son's space. Been saying it since like the sixth game of the season. It was prevalent then. It's prevalent now.
I don't know, man. I think for me, I think Perisic is not the player that we really wanted. I think he only came because of Conte, but
he's openly said that he'll go back to Inter if Conte goes.
Yeah.
So he's only here for Conte.
Exactly. He's only just following Conte around. So I mean, like, Conte goes, he goes. So which means we still have a Doji and Cess, but yeah, look. But yeah, look. I think Perisic, he just pushes Sonny out of the way, and Sonny doesn't know what to do when he gets into the middle. Like, he looks lost. So I mean, when Davies is there, like, he knows Davies will push in the middle, and he has all that space to dribble, do a crossover, and just cross it. Yeah. So I mean, I actually like it when it's like that because it gives Sonny a bit more freedom. Where Perisic has all that freedom on the left, and
But I also think with Davies is Son doesn't have to defend as much. Son doesn't have to worry about coming back because Davies is a much better defender than Perisic. He's done that before. He's been played left back his whole career pretty much and left centre back. So Davies can defend. So when Perisic is horrible at defending and he always gets skinned, he always gets 1-2'd. and Son has to come back and help recover, and then that stops Son counter-attacking like he used to. I mean, his goal, yesterday wasn't a counter-attack. It was a nicely taken goal. It was poor defending, though, I will say that. I don't know what the centre-backs are doing. But
I think Aurier was
I don't know what Aurier was doing. But it's good to see Son on the skill. And the thing is, like you said with Richarlison about the penalty, Kane's obviously still going to be scoring. If Son starts picking up, he's starting to slowly pick up goals. Slowly. He's scored 10 goals now this season. Doesn't sound like much, but he's slowly starting to pick up goals. If we can get him and Richarlison start firing for the back end of the season, we won't lose as many games as we might have. In saying that, I don't really want to push for top 4 if we're not going to challenge for Champions League next year. So for me, it's kind of a bit late to start hitting form.
Definitely is, man.
Apart from that, bro, what we're going to do for you guys is we're going to try and get a nice preview out for the Southampton game. And we will definitely be doing a live watch along. There'll be no if, but, or maybes on that one. The game is going to be 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And we'll try and get some more content out for you guys. The FIFA career mode will be coming. I'm going to try and get that done during the international break. So we've got some content for you guys. And shout out to Delane for the last couple of months. He's been holding it down, holding the channel up because I've been away. The other boys have been busy with kids, and he's a newly father at the Delane. So you're handling being a new father and the channel. So I appreciate all that you do. It's been but now it's all over. The Bucks and the Stag dude's all done. So I'm going to be back full force and to bring that content for you guys. So make sure you special like and subscribe down the bottom. Hit the notification button to get all our new content. Go to our link tree and hit up all our socials. And while you're there, guys, as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.